Beautiful souls, I am Valeria Maritza at Healing Through You. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. How are you today? I am so connected, so in the light here. I have been receiving this message since this morning, and here I am. I'm just going to give you the transmission. So, a lot of people have been reaching out, posting about feeling spent, feeling like there's just tired, and it's like the same thing over and over again. I posted on my Facebook group about and asking where are you leaking your energy, and then clarifying you're leaking your energy in the places that you are giving more than you are receiving back, right? And so this could be at work, this could be with your family, this could be with your partner, your romantic partner, it could be anywhere, right? And so this is the part that we begin to let go of ourselves in order to provide for others, forgetting about ourselves. And then the result of that is that we become really spent, really frustrated, depressed, even angry, resentful. All of these things happen. And that is what happens when we're leaking our energy out, giving more than we are receiving in, and then we begin to question everything, or we just live life day to day without knowing what we're doing, just repeating the mundane things of every single day, the things that we need to take care of, our responsibilities, right? All of those things. And that, where is the joy? Where is the joy? Right? That is the part that the guys want you to get back to and receive that part, because you didn't come here to suffer. You didn't come here to earth to have a difficult life. You came here to have joy, to have fun, to experience as much as you could experience in joy, in love, in fun. And I know if you look around the world, you're like, yeah, that is completely BS. That's not the way it is. I have been suffering for X amount of years. I see so much suffering all around me. The world seems to be getting worse and worse and more evil. And what are you talking about? And so several things about this. Number one, yes, if you focus on the media, you will see so many more bad things coming up. But that is a good thing, because those bad, evil things that are not resonating with you anymore have always been there. It's just that now, because we have access to the media and things are just appearing and being shared on in real time, now we're able to open our eyes and become aware of what has always been there. So it's not that the world is getting worse and worse. It's that now we're becoming aware of it. Now we're learning about it. Now it's coming out to the light. And the light is the key here, because you are the light, right? You're an infinite being of light. As you awaken, as you become more aware, what happens? You bring more light into your being. And light is super strong and super contagious. And it just spreads light like so deeply and fast, right? Like imagine, like there's the sun, right? As soon as the sun comes up, what happens? Everything lights up and you can see everything from the night, right? That's the strength that you as a light being have. And so the more that we do the work, the more that you lean into your own light, as a whole entire consciousness of everything, of the whole planet, the frequency rises, and we are able to bring more light to the dark parts that have always been here on the planet. So that's number one. Number two, yes, you were meant for greatness. You were meant to have fun. You were meant to have joy in your life. And it is when you came into this world and you forgot who you were, and you began to buy into whatever it is that society and those around you have fed you, to no fault of their own, because whatever it has been fed to us as children from our parents, from our teachers, from our mentors, has been fed to us because that's their own belief. So it's not like they're doing it on purpose, hopefully, right? Most of them aren't. It's just that that's their belief. So that's what they're teaching us, right? So it's to no fault of anyone. We have bought into this complete and utter most huge lie, which is that we are separate from the divine, right? And so all fear, all struggles, all shame comes from the belief that we have bought into, that we are separate from the divine. So if you are divine, if you are part of God, of the creator, of the light, of the all-powerful, then you are love. And that actually is exactly what you are. Once you leave this human body and you cross onto the other side, you realize and you become aware of everything that you actually are, which is love. Love, love, and love. So and also a part of everything. So we become separate. We believe that we're separate. We believe that we are only this human body that we're incarnated in. We may believe that we have a soul, but we will also believe that that soul is separate from the creator, from the divine. We're not. We are part of it. I think I spoke about this last time. And so all of those fears, all of the struggles that we are experiencing here on earth come from that belief that we're separate. Once you remember that you really, truly are part of everything, part of everyone, part of the creator, and part of love, that you are love yourself, then you can begin to change and shift your life experiences here on earth and continue to learn whatever it is that you wanted to come here to earth and learn with much more ease and grace and, yes, love. So that is what the message is coming through. There's more to it. There's so much more. You can probably feel my energy because I'm like speaking so quickly because it's coming in so fast. But there's just so much more. I'm just going to pause here a little bit and just take a breath so I can ground because I'm feeling really, really out there, if you know what I mean. So let me just take a couple of deep breaths. You can do that with me if you like. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And continuing on with today's message, which is so super amazing. Here it is. I'm going to tell you my story, right? In a nutshell. When I started down the rabbit hole, my spiritual journey, I was in a place where I was literally feeling depressed. I had everything that I was supposed to, quote unquote, right? I had the job, the house, the car, the husband, the child, I had everything, the pets, I had everything, right? The American dream, you can say. So I had it. And I was so depressed. I didn't know what to do with myself. I would do the things I had to do, right? I would get up, take care of my baby, go to work, take care of the kids at work. I was a teacher for 15 years. I would come back, pick up my son, take care of him. I would do the things that a mother has to do, a teacher has to do, a woman has to do. And then I would go to bed exhausted with nothing to look forward to the next day. And what I mean by nothing to look forward to the next day, I mean something that brings me excitement and joy. I was in this path of repeating the same things over and over and not being grateful or feeling grateful or not being able to feel grateful for what I had because I was just in this mundane thing of like, what am I doing? There must be something else to this. I'm just doing this thing over and over, kind of like running in the spinning thing that the hamster does. I forgot what it's called. Like that. That's how I felt. And I was depressed. And I remember, and it's embedded in my mind, that I was laying on the couch in the living room, feeling really sorry for myself and feeling like there was no hope for anything. And I just wanted to sleep and I just didn't feel like doing anything. I just wanted to be in bed and rest and close my eyes. And that's what I wanted to do. My husband comes over and I said, I just don't feel like there's anything worth it. And of course, he was like so hurt. What? There's nothing worth it? Like, I'm not worth it. Your child's not worth it. Like, right? That's actually how I felt. And that is depression, guys. That is true depression when you're not able to see the love around you and the blessings that you have around you. So that's where I was. Okay. So I just want to tell you and share this with you because a lot of you see the me now. You know the me now, and you're like, oh, yeah, well, she's happy go lucky. And like, there she is, and she's doing the things. And people don't realize all the work that I have done to get here. Right now, just want to back up a little bit. I was like this before, right? When I was growing up and all through my teenagers years and up to my mid 20s, I was like this. And then I lost it. I lost it because of life and because I really forgot who I was. But that's a different story for a different day. Now, when I was in this place, I was like, I know there has to be something else. And I found, by sheer luck, or you can say divine intervention, I found something that made me want to get up and do something. And that something was who became my spiritual mentor. She was talking on Facebook, doing lives and talking about things. And I caught one of her lives, and it spoke to me, and it gave me like hope, and it resonated. I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. Like everything she said made sense to me. And then I started digging more into it. I started going back to anything that she had said before. And like, I couldn't get enough of the information that was being transmitted through her. And this went on for a couple of months, but that was the little thing that brought excitement back to my life, right? So I would do the Monday things, whatever, and then I would go like right before going to bed and listen to something, one of these episodes that this person was putting out there, that made me feel connected, that made me feel like there was hope, right? And sometimes I didn't get to it during the week, and I would just like binge on it during the weekend because I was just so tired during the week. But that was my thing. That was the one thing that I had to look forward to. So that's number one. That's the first thing that the guys want you to do, is to find something that brings you excitement and joy and laughter and hope now. Find something, whatever that is, find what it is, and then lean into that. And just like I said to you, if you can find something that will bring you that type of feeling of excitement or something to look forward to, like when you book a vacation, right? Like it's in the middle of January and you book a vacation for the end of August, and you're just excited all of those months up to your vacation because you're thinking about that amazing thing that you're going to get to do at the end of August, and that carries you, it carries your soul with something to look forward to, right? So if you can find something that gives you that feeling each day, even better. If you can't, then look for something that you can lean into and feed for the end of the week, or like once a week, right? And then begin to lean into that so that you can bring that excitement back to your life. Okay, so that's the first point. Okay, continuing on with my story. So what happened is that finally I decided that I needed to do some deeper work. I didn't even know what that meant, guys. Okay, just to let you know, I had no idea. I just was like, I think I need to work with this person. I have no idea what she offers. I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know anything about it. But all of my guides kept pointing me towards that. And so I took a leap of faith, and I did. And it was the hardest thing I had ever done. I was so scared because I invested a large amount of money that I had never had invested in myself before, on something that wasn't tangible, right? Like I had taken like a trip overseas. I had like done things like bought myself a car. I had done things like that, that things that I needed or that I knew what it was. It's like an experience. It's a car. It's a vehicle that I need for transportation, right? I had done that type of stuff, but I hadn't invested in something that I had no idea what it was, right? Like spiritual mentorship. What the heck is that, right? Like, seriously, what is that? And back then, I really had no idea what that was. But again, all of the signs were there, all of that feeling of like, whenever I spoke to the person, whenever I saw it, I was like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. And then the ego would come in and say, nope, can't do it. It's too expensive. Like, what exactly are you getting? You're getting ripped off. All of those thoughts were still in my mind. But I was at a point where I had managed to remember enough to really help me go through that threshold, go through that door, and go into the unknown. And so I took a leap of faith, and I hired this person, and I started to do the work. And I was a very good student. Okay. I did exactly what was asked of me. I did it to the T. I did it even more than anyone else was doing it at the time with that person. And even herself, when I would say, oh, yeah, I just meditated every day, she's like, oh, I don't even do that, right? Like I was like the really good student. I'm going to invest in myself, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it right. And I did it. Within 3 weeks, I noticed that the problems, the things around me had shifted. Now, this is really important because when we do the work, we are changing and healing ourselves. We are not changing or healing anyone else. We're not changing it, right? Because when we are in need of help, when we are in the middle of that poor me status, we are very quick to point our fingers outwards. We point the finger outwards. It's because of them that I'm in this situation. It's because of them that I can't do this. It's because of that I blah, 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 right? It's very easy because as long as we have someone to point the finger to, we don't have to look at ourselves. We don't have to take ownership for what part we are playing in this game. And so I started doing the work. And I noticed 3 weeks in, school had just started again. All of the same problems were there. All of the stresses were there. Like when I was a teacher, it was incredibly stressful because the information that we needed wasn't ready. It was never, I worked in like 4 different schools. It was all the same in every single school. They didn't have the information or the materials needed when we started. And then they would give us information of things we needed to do and complete. And 2 days later, they would change that. So imagine how frustrating that was, right? Let's say they say, okay, you need to do lesson plans. This is the format. Okay, take the format, go home, do all this extra work, right? Extra work of like, formatting the new stuff to this. Go back. I'm so excited. I have this. Oh, we actually changed the format. We just got a new one. And now you have to do it this. And we don't need all of that stuff, but we do need these other things that we hadn't told you about, right? That's just one example. And this is how things work. So it was very stressful. We felt like we were doing busy work, or like we were doing work that, never got to be seen, never got to be acknowledged. We were just wasting our time, literally, because we were doing all of this work. And then they were saying, yeah, we don't need that anymore, right? Like, how would you feel, right? This is like all across, guys. Like I already told you, I've worked in like 4 different schools, and it was the same in every single school. So it was like that. And then I would see myself and my colleagues, run around like chickens with no heads, and like be stressed, and I don't have time for this, and this is too much, and I can't believe they gave me all this extra work, and all of that complaining and bickering was happening. And I was in the middle of that. Well, this time I had just started working with my mentor, and I was 3 weeks into it, and it was like the second week of professional development at school. And I noticed that my colleagues were doing the same thing that I was doing in the previous years, which is worrying, running around like a chicken with no head, complaining about things, venting about how dumb the things were, or how this extra work that we wasted time, all of that. They were all doing that. Yet I was in the same situation, same school, same people, same everything. But I was just watching them as if I was watching a movie, and none of that affected me. It was like, oh, I need to do that. All right. Well, you know what? It's 3 o'clock. I don't think I feel like working anymore. I don't get paid after 3. I'm just going to go home, and I'll take care of this tomorrow. And I will go home and take care of it tomorrow, and just go home and take care of what I wanted to take care of. My child, my home, my husband, right? I wanted to do those things. I didn't want to have to be working at home. So I did that. I made that choice. I would go back into work the next day. Same thing. And like 2, 3 days later, what would happen is like they would change the thing, right? And everybody would be so mad. And I would be like, oh, aren't I glad that I didn't spend all of my time figuring that thing out that is now obsolete, right? This is how things change, right? When you do the work, things change for you because they don't affect you anymore. You have a different point of view. You're able to see things differently. You're able to see everyone else in the same mess that you used to be, yet it's funny to you. It's almost like you're watching this movie, and this is the story that's happening and it's unfolding, but it doesn't affect you the way it did. It's so incredible and amazing. Again, whatever was bad, whatever was stressful doesn't go away. It's there, but you're now vibrating at such much higher frequency that those things no longer bother you. They're still there, but they don't bother you. Do they affect you? Yeah, but they affect you in a much lesser way, much different way. And because you're vibrating at a higher frequency, things begin to flow with ease for you. Not for everyone else, but for you. I'm going to give you an example of this too. So one of the things that happened in that year is that they changed these things. They gave us something. It was very difficult to figure out. It was kind of something like with the schedule or something. I don't know, but it was something like that. And again, I decided I'm not going to do this at home. I'm just going to come back the next day. If they give me enough time to do it, I will tackle it. If not, we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to take this at home. I'm just going to relax. And I did that. And then the next day, what happened? My colleagues, who were still running that story of the Matrix, went home and did all the work and figured it out, and then came back so excited. And what do teachers do, guys, all the time? You should know this. We share. So they share the answers with me. Hey, I figured out the schedule. Here it is. This is your part. Oh, that's what I mean. That is what I mean. I didn't do any more work. I chose me. I chose to do the things that I wanted to do. I chose not to work outside of my working hours. And other people who were still running in the matrix, thinking and feeling that I need to do this, did it. Then they share with me, I didn't get to do anything. And I was like sitting there laughing inside myself, of course, like, oh my gosh, this stuff really works. So the stressful things, the bad, the people who are mean, all of that stuff, it doesn't go away, guys. They're still there. They still are. The difference when you do the work is that it doesn't affect you. It no longer bothers you. Here's another thing. If you have people who are mean or like, just like always making life horrible or difficult for others, right? Including yourself. When you begin to do the work, what happens? Because your frequency is rising so high, their frequency, their negative energy can no longer reach you. And so what do? They leave you alone by no doing of your own, by nothing. You don't do anything. Your frequency is just higher and they can't see you. They can't bother you. They can't even think about you because you are no longer at their frequency. They can no longer see you, hear you, anything, and they leave you alone. Another example, my third school that I came here to Philly, the principal was like that. She was always on everybody's backs and telling things. I was on such a high frequency. Teachers all around me would come to me and complain about the evil principal, right? And all of the bad things they did. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe anything they said because she was always beautiful and nice to me. I never saw this evil ogre person because she wasn't that to me. She couldn't. When she saw me, she would raise her frequency to meet mine, you see. I didn't lower my frequency to meet hers. And so she would feel good and better about herself, and therefore she would only do things and behave towards me in a nice, loving manner. How does it get any better than that? By the way, guys, this was before I did the work. These are things that I noticed because I was already, I've always been connected, but I was already doing things without knowing that I was doing them, right? Working with a mentor, what that did was put them together and bring my awareness that that's what I was doing. Does that make sense? A mentor will point out your gifts, your abilities, what you've been doing all of your life, and tell you and show you that you have been creating whatever situation has happened in your life and give you proof. That's what mentors do. This is why when you ask for someone to help you and you pay for spiritual mentorship, that's what it does. It puts it all into perspective, because when we're just living our life, we just think, that's just something that happened, or it was coincidence, or it was lucky, right? That's what we think. That's what we believe. A spiritual mentor will show you that it is actually you doing things, you being connected in that moment, you getting messages from your guides. That's actually what it is. And then you begin to really lean into it purposely, and then everything really changes because you are that powerful. You really, truly are. You have no idea. Okay, so that used to happen, right? And that happened because I was aligned to a higher frequency. This is something else I used to do. It was a really difficult school where a lot of the kids were always fighting. And as I would come into the building, I would put a shield of protection around me, just walking up the stairs to my classroom every single morning. And I would have a very easy day, or quite manageable. And then I did notice that sometimes I would have a terrible day. I would have fights in my classroom. I would have kids who were defiant. I would have like all kinds of chaos. And then I would remember, oh my gosh, this morning I forgot to put the bubble of protection. I did not call on my angels to help me. It actually works, guys. I was aware of this before I did the work. You probably are too. Start to put these things together because it is you who can do all of these things, okay? All right, so when you begin to shift your thoughts, when you begin to do the work, the inner work, right, to look at what are the wounds that I have had, what are the things that are bothering me, you begin to bring them out to the light and you transmute them. You get them out of your body. And think of them as darkness, as dark shadows, right? You bring the shadows out. Oh, that happened to me when I was a child. Okay, let me move it out of my body. Let me do some breath work. Let me do some writing. Let me do some meditation around this and remove it from my physical body, right? And I'm just putting it all in a nutshell for you. You remove it, and then you feel lighter. You feel like, oh, I feel so much better, right? Why? Because you got that darkness out and heaviness out of your body. And then what happens to your body? You fill your body with light, with divine light, which is divine. And the more that you do the work, the lighter you become. And the lighter that you become, the more that you remember who you truly are, a divine being of light, connected to the divine, connected to the creator, not separate. And the more that you begin to remember this, the more light that you can shine. And the more light that you can shine, the more you're connected to your higher self, to the divine, to your guides, to the angels, and you're able to live a much more flowy, loving life. Not only that, you begin to shine your light and be happier, because you do become happier when this happens on your own. And other people around you begin to notice because you're shining so bright. It's kind of like going outside, the sun is shining, and what happens? Ooh, there it is, the sun. You can't avoid it. They don't have to know that it's the sun or what it's doing for you. You just feel it. You just become engulfed in the light. And that's what you begin to do with the people around you. You begin to engulf those that come close to you within your light, and they begin to feel better because your frequency is higher, right? So they begin to feel better, and the conversations become different. And guess what? Those people who are always complaining, those people who are always talking about the bad things that are happening, they no longer feel drawn to come and talk to you about them because their frequency is lower. And so they're going to find other people who are vibrating at their low frequency, that they can hear them and they can add more fuel to their fire. And they're going to stay there. And the ones who are open to changing, moving, and growing, those are the people who are going to come into your light, and you're going to enlighten them just by being you. You don't have to talk about this. You don't have to preach about what you're doing or how you're doing it. You're just being you, but you're just naturally vibrating at a higher frequency, and people feel good being around you, and they also don't feel like talking about the bad things. And so you become this light being who is uplifting others just by being you, just by doing the work yourself. You begin to create a better world around you. This part affects your home life. So if it is your home life that feels out of alignment, or that feels like it's too hard, or you're in an abusive relationship or something like that, right? Something that's really difficult. When you do the work, you also begin to bring up your frequency, and those around you begin to leave you alone, be less mean, somehow need to be out of the house when you're there, and begins to avoid you. They begin to send their negative energy to others who are still running at a low frequency, as opposed to you, who is running at a higher frequency. And the other thing that may happen is that you will have the strength and knowledge that, you know what, this is really not working for me. And you'll be able to finally move out or let go of that which is pulling you down. This happens when you do the work. It happens when you do the work because you're vibrating at a higher frequency. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So this is how we begin to change our life. Now, the universe works with miracles, like true miracles that we little humans, when we're feeling separate from the divine, feel that like, how could that ever be? How many of you are stuck in some type of business or job, and you're like, I can't leave because, right? I've been working here for 15 years. I make this much money. If I was to leave, I would have to start at a basic or much lower, and I cannot afford to leave the amount of money that I have accrued up to now. There's nothing better than this. I know I hate my job, but this is where I'm stuck, right? How many of you have been there? I know so many people have and still are. But When you begin to do the work, right? You begin to do the work on yourself. Not only does your job that you don't like become better and easier, you might even get a raise. You might get a promotion, or you might get an opportunity that comes out of the blue. You're not even looking for it, but it gets offered to you or it lands in front of you, and you take action, and it ends up being so much better, better hours, better pay, better benefits, better everything, closer to home, whatever it is that you want. It's so much better, and it just appears for you in a way that you didn't have to do any quote unquote work in order to get it. So, work as in the linear type of work, the matrix type of work, where you're looking for what to do, looking on the website for jobs, or looking, putting out resumes, all of that stuff. That's the very linear way. No, this is something like somebody just comes over and offers you something, and you're like, what? How did that happen? That is how life begins to change when you do the work. So you don't have to realize or figure out the how. You don't have to figure out, well, how will I do that? Because I'm stuck in this place. You just have to do the dreaming. You have to do the visualizing. You have to do the deciding. What is it that I want? I want a better job that's going to pay me 3 times what I'm making now, that is closer to home, and the people are super nice to me. That's what I want. And you know what? I'm asking for that. I want it right now. I want it to just appear, and just hold that frequency of like, yeah, that is, it is, it is. Not is I'm going to get it, but yeah, it is. I got it. That's what I want. I'm asking for that. The universe has no choice but to deliver to you, as long as you're holding that frequency of, I know I already have it. I know the universe will deliver this to me. I have no idea how, and that's none of my business. That's what I'm asking for. That's my vision. Keep the vision there alive. Put all of your senses into it. Hold on to that vision as long as you can. And the longer that you can hold on to that vision, the faster it manifests. Okay? And you will notice this, because when things are aligned for you, they happen really quickly. It's like you're walking down the street and something happens. Wow, that's a line. That's interesting. That's weird. Okay. And then you go home and something else happens. Somebody calls you or something. It's like, what? Like, that's exactly what I was looking for. How is this happening? It's happening because you have chosen to change and switch your frequency to a higher frequency, one of joy, of excitement, of love. And when you are aligned with those things, then you are only attracting things that are aligned with those same things, therefore bringing more joy, more love, more ease into your life, because that's the frequency that you're choosing. It's as if you are choosing to watch horror movies, right? And you're always watching horror movies, right? And there it is, one scary movie, another scary movie, all these tragedies. You're watching all of that. What are you doing? You are aligning to that frequency, and you're bringing that type of experiences into your life. Change the channel. Begin to watch funny things, comedians, romantic comedies, things about nature or beautiful places in the world. Begin to see that, begin to dream, begin to lift your energy. And then you're going to see more and more of those things. And you're going to bring to yourself experiences that make you feel good, light, happy as the things that you're watching. Right? So your life right now is in a place that is dark and it's hard and it's just like really sad. Change the dial. Begin to look for the good, right? And one of the ways that you want to do that is by finding that one thing that makes you excited and happy each day. And again, like I said before, if you can't find it for the day, then maybe you can binge on it on the weekend and just like, okay, I know I like this book. I saw this book. It really called me. I'm so exciting. I'm going to read it on the weekend because I'm just like too tired during the week, right? And then you feel your soul, you begin to feel your soul and begin to change the way that your mind is thinking by opening yourself up to new material, things that are not coming from the matrix. The matrix is the one that keeps you small, living the hard life, because you've been told that you need to work hard in order to make money. You need to go to school and get X amount of degrees in order to rise up and make more money and move up in the world, right? Those things are all fake. They used to work before, but it's no longer. I have so many entrepreneur friends who are making 10 times what they were making with a master's degree because they took that chance. And they're breaking all kinds of um, matrix laws, for a lack of a better word, all of these things that we have been fed that that's the way it works. No, it doesn't. When you remember who you are and you connect with the oneness of it all, when you connect with the divine part of yourself, the all powerful, the all loving, right? Then you become that. And then you align to that. And then that is what is attracted to your life. And that's what your life becomes. Your life becomes beautiful, loving, easy, right? Joyful. That's what you were meant for. That is what the guys want you to know. They want you to really lean into this part of you, begin to leave the things that are not resonating with you and do the work. Okay, find someone or something that really speaks to you. There's so many amazing spiritual teachers out there. There's Joe Dispenza, right? Joe Vitale. There's like so many different people. If energy medicine is your thing, there's Eden medicine that you can look up. There's the quantum touch with Richard Gordon. There's so many people. You just look into something and then you will be guided to things that are resonating with you. And once you start going down one path, another door will open and another door will open. And all of a sudden, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, where am I? And I have news for you. You're going to be down that rabbit hole, that thing that no one told you existed until you decided to look for it, until you are ready to open up and receive the information that has been there for you all along, until you take a chance on you. All right, guys, I love you so much. I really hope that this has been really helpful. Please share this with others that you think and feel that will really benefit from these messages. Subscribe so that you can get the material this podcast is now once a week. It comes out every Thursday. I love channeling this for you. And yeah, that is it. Let me know how it feels for you. You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram. I'll put all of my handles in the description here so you can follow me there and you can send me messages if you have any questions about anything. All right, guys, I love you. Have a wonderful, beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.